So, welcome to my first intro video about a program that I'm going to do. And I'm going to share my screen here so you guys can see the actual program. So, here it is. It is Healing Vibes. And this is where we're going to heal, grow, and play. And I'm the one doing the healing and the facilitating of the healing, excuse me. And my name is Lauren Faulkner, for those that do not know. And I'm super excited about this program. It is, every time I create new, I'm saying it's the most epic thing ever, but this one really is. Like, this really has the chance to transform your life. And I am so excited to share that with you today. So here we are, and I first want to extend a thank you to you for first taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and for even believing me the slightest bit to even have interest in what I am talking about. It has been really amazing for me to start talking and sharing my story and my voice, and seeing that it has the power to help someone else, which has in turn helped me a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is where I wanted to start, because this is why I am facilitating healing now, because of this one statement. And that is, only 1 in 3 Americans say they're very happy. Now, this isn't like, oh yeah, I'm happy, like we all say, right? Oh, I'm fine. This is like genuinely very happy. Like, they wake up bouncing out of their bed, excited for the day, enjoy their work, they love their friends and family, that they're genuinely happy. 1 in 3. That is amazing. That means the other people out there just do not like their day. And to me, that makes me very sad, because we're here. We're here to live. We're here to be alive and vibrant. And there's so many people, because of whatever reason, no judgment, they're not. And if this is you, if you're one of the other of the 3, you're not the one that's happy, you're the one that's just miserable or upset or whatever it is, listen up, because I want to jump down in the hole with you. I want you to be as happy and alive as I am today, because you're worth it and you deserve that. And I don't need to know you to love you, right? I've said that before. Someone said it once, and it's just like stuck with me, because really, truly, I don't. You're a human being. You deserve to be loved and heard and seen. And this statement right here is why I've created this program, because enough of you have said you're not that one. So maybe you've seen this one before. I put this up on my Facebook a little while ago, and it's simply, are you overwhelmed and miserable? I mean, look at this picture. Like, I know I've definitely done that on more than one occasion, where I'm just like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, or being so upset that this is portraying exactly what I felt in that moment. Or maybe you're angry and frustrated, right? You're angry and frustrated that you're doing it all and you're not seeing any results in whatever facet of your life, but just being so incredibly angry and reactive and frustrated that it's disrupting your life. Or maybe you have some jealousy and envy, being that you know what you want and you're seeing everyone else get it and you're not. And you know you deserve it, so why aren't you getting it? Or maybe you're feeling embarrassed and ashamed for the way you've acted. Or maybe you got the result you wanted, but now you've gone back to the old you. Maybe you simply don't know why you feel embarrassed or ashamed. But that feeling of like, you don't want to put yourself out there because you're too embarrassed to, or too ashamed to. Or maybe, just maybe, you have it all. You have the car, you have the spouse, you have the house, you have the career, you have all the material things you ever could want. And yet you feel this empty void. You feel this longing of, there's something more out there. There's something that you're missing, or you're just not satisfied. You're not fulfilled. So if you happen to be any one of these, I mean, we could all say we've been all of those at some point, but if one of these is truly upsetting your life and truly causing mayhem, then listen up, because you don't have to live like that. You don't have to accept that as your truth. And before I move on to why, or how, or any of those other questions you may have, I wanted to tell you a little bit about me. So these are the letters after my name. These are my formal education. This is, the things that I've done that kind of give me the edge and the education to be able to do this, to facilitate healing. So I was approved by ACE, American Council on Exercise, back in 2007 as a personal trainer. This was my sophomore year of college at the University of Southern Maine, where I was going for my exercise science degree. So I was taking all of my book knowledge and immediately applying it to the real world. And let me tell you, it was probably the best way to learn for me, because there's so much to book smarts, but there's so much when you have a human being in front of you that they didn't teach in the books, that I got to kind of learn much sooner than my peers. And I also did a minor in holistic health, because I knew innately and I understood that when I was working as a personal trainer, that I wasn't just doing the exercises, that there was a whole person in front of me, and that their mind, body, and soul, and their, different psychological things and social things, that there's just so much wrapped up in that. And I knew I wanted to understand all of that so I could better help my clients. And the most recent thing I did in order to help my clients was I added in that third piece of the mind, right? I did Mindset Performance Institute's Mindset Specialist Level 1 certification, and that was like the missing link. I knew how to program design, I knew nutrition guidance, and now I know how to get those two to stick and how to get those to just be a lifestyle and not something you push for 12 weeks and then stop. And I kind of have like this ongoing philosophy in life, in fitness, in whatever it is, that it doesn't matter how hard you go or how much you do. All that matters is that you continually move forward, and that sometimes even just a small baby step is enough, that's all you need to do that day. So that quote there I have on the corner, sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take that first step. And honestly, that step forward is where this is at. And as you can see, I'm also a mother. My son, SJ, is, oh gosh, I don't even know how to explain it. He has been the catalyst for me to build a legacy. He's not so much my standard, he's my why, which is nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's more than that. Like, I want to show him that he has a strong woman for a mother. And I want to show him that life is meant to be lived to the fullest, that the world is the playground. I don't want to tell him what to do or how to live his life. I want to show him what's possible. And I'm just, these are the formal educations of me. This isn't who I am. These are the letters after my name. This is what gives me the education and the experience to be able to jump down in the hole with you. Because not only, as I'm going to share here in a moment, have I been there, but I have the education too. So this is me showboating a little bit. This is some of the things I do for fun and passion and love. I have danced since I was 3. I've done everything from like tap ballet to hip hop to burlesque to modern. I've tried it all. I used to dance on a D-League, which is a developmental league basketball team, which was really fun, performing in front of thousands of people. And I like to moonlight as a model. I love being on the in front of the camera, behind the camera, wherever it is. That creating art is huge for me. And being active, I've always challenged myself to do things that scared me, things that were challenged physically as well as mentally. And so I've done the Tough Mudder a few times, and I used to do springboard diving, which was not something I expected I'd ever do. I did dance and gymnastics and cheering and pole vaulting, but diving kind of became a love for me. And I walked on to East Carolina University's swim and dive team. And I still hold the record. I'm 4th on my high school 1 meter diving list. And I'm still there, which is pretty exciting. So again, this is a little more of who I am, not just the letters after my name. These are the things that I enjoy doing. And you look at this, you see a happy, confident girl, right? Well, this is what was underneath all of that. I literally put a mask on. When people asked if I was okay, I was like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm great. Always wore a smile. But this is what I felt inside. This, like, I just want to break free. I knew this is not the skin that I was meant to be in. This is not all I had. I could be more, but it's like I was trapped. And I was longing for the feeling of being free, right? And being happy for no reason. But I never could quite grasp that. I went through years and years of verbal and mental abuse, and that led to my own language being very abusive as well. And so, again, I want to show you, this was me on the outside, right? This is kind of what I felt on the inside, or I knew was there, but this is what ran my life. This is how I, always started things but stopped things because I didn't believe I was worth it. I didn't believe that I deserved the things that I was longing for because of all of the abuse and crap that happened to me from when I was young up until, a year ago. So I guess the point of sharing all of that is that in 7 months, I healed 18 years of abuse. And that's not to say just me. That was to say that I sought out the help to do so, but I was willing to be the change I wish to see in the world, right? I was willing to change, and I was willing to learn a new way because the way I was doing it was not working. So what happened was in 2014, I basically had like a symbolic death. Business was failing. I had a failed relationship, and friendships were falling to the wayside. And there was a point where I sat in my empty apartment. There was no furniture. My son was with his father, and I literally just kind of sat there and looked around. And I expected tears to come, but it didn't. Something else happened, this odd, very calm sense of, okay, now that I got rid of the things that are not serving me, now that they were taken away from me, whatever it was, they are no longer there. I now have this space to do something with it, to maybe do something different. And that's exactly what I did. I sought out different programs that were more than just your like rah-rah self-help, self-development kind of programs. They're very much the real and authentic thing. So I joined the Art of the Inspired Living Women's Program, which is held by Carrie Campbell, in January. It was a month-long thing, all specific to women. Then I started it in December, but I completed it in February, which is that level 1 mindset specialist certification through the Mindset Performance Institute. And this, as much as it was a formal education certification, it was very much a personal journey. So a lot of what I added into this program, the Healing Vibes program, is a lot of the stuff that I learned from there, because it is the most like silly, simple, practical way to get out of your own way. And then in March, I hired my own healing facilitator and mindset coach. And this is a woman who literally is like a ghost and just steps through your walls. But it caused me to really grow and heal, which in turn allowed me to like play. In April, I hired a business coach. And then I signed on for the Mindset Performance Academy license. And I did those two things because I have the passion, I have the education, I know it. I just need a little bit of accountability and guidance to get me to a place where I can affect 1 billion people, right? I am ready to positively affect 1 billion people. And so I hired the coach to help me do that. So if we look at this timetable, I started in July. I started in April. I ended in July. Well, I didn't end it, but that's where I had like my biggest like, aha moment and realized that I was no longer held back. I no longer had the foot on the brake. I no longer was a victim to my circumstances. And I had done the work to make it work. So in 7 months, I went from living in complete fear of not ever being good enough or deserve it, or whatever word you want to add there, to a point of waking up just happy for no reason. I literally would bounce out of bed or be up at 4 a.m. for no reason because I just wanted to create. I'd never experienced that before. Understanding the difference between like passion and purpose. The purpose is what was getting me up at 4 a.m. I had a passion for it, but now I had a purpose. And the only way I did that was I got real. I got raw. Like I just exposed everything. I was vulnerable. I got very explicit on what I wanted in my life, who I wanted to be in my life, and all this, all these just like details. And then I became aware. Of what were the stories that I was holding myself back with, and becoming aware of the choices that I had. And then I lived it. So again, part of the reason why I developed this Healing Vibes program is so I can be a part of this for someone else. Even though mine was only 18 years, I know there's others that could be up to 53 years of this, but it's possible. You don't have to live the way you've been living. It's not, if it's the norm that's just the way it should be, that's not true. Like this is all impermanent and we have the power to change it. And I'm proof I did it. So I wanted to share a little bit of just like my unique innate abilities, things that I used to be very shy about sharing. But I'm confident in them now. I know the value and the worth that they have and what they can do for someone else when I jump down in the hole with them. So like I've shared, I have the education and experience to use mindset and movement to facilitate healing. I not only have done it for myself, but it's the way I've always approached my personal training. I always used mindset and movement to do that, to facilitate healing for people. I also have a kind of a knack or natural ability to kind of hear and see through your bullshit, and in a very loving and not judgmental way. I'll call you out on it. I'll hold the mirror up and say, all right, what do you really see here? Like, what is really going on? We do that because that's where you discover the real root cause of your suffering. And at that point, I will challenge you to level up. And this is something, any of my clients, you can talk to them about it. I have a special way of doing it. You don't realize it's happening until it's over and you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I actually did that. And I'm the one that helps you there. And so the last piece is I've been there. I've been in that never ending hole of despair and I've climbed out. So I know the way out. I can jump down in with you and walk the same steps with you. You're not in it alone, just like I wasn't this past year. So why are we here? I talked a whole bunch already, and I haven't even told you why we're here. So why we're here to heal first and foremost. If you do not heal, and if you're not able to move past all these essential wounds that we all have, it holds you back, right? If we don't get past that, if we don't heal, we're stuck where we are. So the biggest piece of this program is to heal. And this is not to say that it's never happened before, right? We're not going to just wipe it from our memory. But what does happen when you heal is it no longer controls you. You get to take back that control. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to grow. We're going to take the soil of your mind and take it from a very dry, infertile soil and bring it to a very rich and abundant soil so that any seed that we plant in there, it will grow, it will flourish, and it will be exactly what you've always wanted it to be. And with those two things, when we heal and we grow, we then get to play. We get to create. We get to see the world as our playground. And if you have a thought, you get to manifest it. You get to go do it, because why not? Right? There is no should, could, or have to's. Like, this is, you have every ability to do whatever you want. It's just a matter of healing, growing, and doing. So with that said, that's why we're here. We're here because on some level, you know you need to heal. You know on some level that you need to grow. And maybe you haven't had the dark past that I've had, but maybe you know you want to grow even further. You want to become the highest expression of yourself. And all of us want to play, right? We all want to have that freedom to do whatever we want. So that's why. So where are we going? This is the crux of it, right? This is where we are, and this is where we can go. So maybe right now you're feeling very powerless. You feel like you don't have a voice. You feel like you're being held back. Maybe you just feel like you have no control in your life. You're just completely powerless. So if you're here, where we're going is here. We're going to get to a point where you're going to have your power back. You're going to know your power. You're going to know your worth, and you're going to be able to stand firm in that. You're going to know your truth, and you're going to know that truth is that you are very, very powerful, and you will no longer be here. You'll be sitting here. Or maybe you feel like you're running your head into a brick wall, and you're just repeating that same cycle over and over and over again. And if you feel like you have one of these in front of you that you cannot, get over, it's just insurmountable, I want to tell you that you can get here. You can get to a point where you retrain your brain that you won't repeat the same cycle over again. And when you have a new brain, new mind, you'll have a new result. That's just how it works. And then the other thing that we get is change, right? It's not an event that happens. It's not a destination. It's a process. And so if you're here running your head into the wall and bouncing back, know that you can get through it. And the only way to do that is change. So we'll go from, this, same cycle over and over again to changing that to get a new result. Or maybe you're just terrified. You're afraid of everything. Afraid of success. You're afraid of failure. Afraid of judgment. You're afraid, that you're not going to like it. You're afraid that you have no idea who or what you want to be. Fear is a huge culprit to why we don't achieve what we want to achieve. And in this program, we will go from a place of fear to a place of love. And the biggest part of this program is learning to love it again, whatever it is, whatever you think that, you want, but you can't get because you should do whatever is over here that you really hate. You'll learn to love it again. And coming from a loving place versus a fear-based place allows you to align more of what it is you want. And if it's something that you want, you're going to do more of it. But until you understand what place you're moving from, that won't happen. So the biggest part of where we're going is just learning, right? Learning what it is or who we are or where we want to go. You have to accept, and you have to be aware, and you have to learn to love it again. Or maybe you're feeling kind of bound, right? You're feeling stuck in place. You feel like your feet are in, cement, or you're bound up to a tree, whatever image you want to place there. You literally can't get out of your own way. You are just completely bound. So in this program, we'll go from this place to this place. You will be empowered to cut through the bullshit and to peel the layers back to the point where you're just free. Freedom, right? That's why we're here. That's where we can go. We can go from this very trapped, bound place to freedom. Or maybe you're here. Maybe you're like me. I put that mask on. I'm happy. But in reality, I was just absolutely sad. I was the other two of that 1 in 3 Americans being very happy. I was not. So if you're here, we can go somewhere, right? We can go here to a point where you are just peaceful and happy and you're ready for the day, and you get to a point where you actually get to create your world. You have the power and empowerment and freedom to design your life. That's where we're going. We're going to a place where you are no longer held back by you or all the stories or all the shit that's happened to you. You get the freedom to create, which is a beautiful place to be. So, biggest question I get, yeah, that all sounds great. Yep, I resonate with a couple of those things. Yes, I would love to get from here to there, but how? How do you do it? And that question, I'm two ways on this. One, you don't need to know the how. You need to know why and who you are. If you know those two, the how will just kind of fall in place, which is, I've already shared with you what we do in this program. We learn who you are. We maybe change a few things so we align better with that. And then we will we'll uncover what your why is. I have no doubt in that. But to kind of give you a sense of how this happens, I wanted to share this. The only way this happens is if you get guidance. Because I'm going to ask you this question, because you might be saying, oh, I could do this on my own. How has that been working for you? Hiring a coach increases your success rates, like it increases it by a lot, like from like 5% success rate doing it on your own to like a 95% success rate if you hire a coach. So you'll have guidance. The second piece of how you do this is you find a safe space to do it in. Because if you don't feel safe, you won't dive in as deep as you need to. And then the third piece of how is you get the toolbox with the tools in it of how you do that. So those are the three main things of how we'll get this done: guidance, a safe space, and tools. So biggest question, because this is not for me, this program is for you guys, is what do you get out of it? 3 things. You get freedom, you get empowerment, and you get play. You get to explore, you get to dream, you get to discover. You get the freedom to have fun, right? And who doesn't want that? And all of that wraps into being happy. You will then be the 1 in 3 Americans that are very happy. So the only thing I ask is that we become a team. That I'm not above you, I'm not below you, I am directly beside you. Because that's the only way I found that it truly works. The team commitment, everyone has their role. And if both parties, or however many's in there, does their part, the team works successfully. So my 3 things that I would ask of my teammate is you do the work to make it work. You take purposeful action every day, even if it's like the smallest step. If there's a purpose behind it, that step is huge. And then the last thing I would ask of you is consistency, is you do something every day for yourself to get where you want to go. If you do those 3, my responsibility as your teammate is to give you my time, energy, and love. You will be seen and heard. I will pour everything I have into you, into this journey that you're allowing me to be a part of. So this journey, what I've designed is an 18-week program. Within that, you get 24 private coaching calls. We can set that however you want to set that up. If you want to do twice a week for a certain amount of time and then once a week the rest of the time. If you want to do once a week, twice a week, once a week, twice a week. I didn't want to do too much structure because everyone's going to be a little bit different. So in total, in the 18 weeks, you get 24 private coaching calls with me. We'll also create a private Facebook group, which means no one can find it, no one can see it. This is going to be your daily accountability. And this is where you get to put whatever you want in there as a record of where we're going, or things that you want to try. I mean, this is your safe and secure space with me to just play and explore, right? I will also provide weekly educational modules. These are going to go over any theories, terms, the science, the brain science behind all of this, the behavior change science behind it, and of course, the practical tools to apply that knowledge. Then the last thing that I think is really important about this program is I'm diving in with you, right? I'm not just handing you the above 4 things and saying, all right, have at it, go for it, have fun. I am in it with you. I am step by step with you. And we'll do this as a team so we can see your full iceberg. And when you know that, because we all know what an iceberg is, right? You see like this much above the water, but it's like this big and under the water. So, this program helps you see the full thing. And when you know the full thing, you can do something about it. So that's it. I know that was a lot of information at once, but hopefully you saw who this was for. It literally is for everyone. You'll know why we're doing it, because let's face it, if you're not happy with any part of your life, you need to get to be happy, because life is too short not to be. You know how. You saw what it looks like. So if I, for some reason, haven't answered your question, please contact me. I have both my phone number and email up there. Both of them are okay with me for contact. I am always up for questions, comments, and concerns, even just discussion, right? If one of these things was like, oh man, I would love to talk about that some more, let me know. I'm here. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a group called Mindset in Motion. And with that, you'll kind of get my little daily, topics that I talk about. And you can also just friend me personally on Facebook if we're not already. So again, thank you so much for listening. And this is my Healing Vibes program where we'll heal, grow, and play. Have a beautiful day. And I can't wait to talk to you. Bye.